One. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. Ekale, Shalafia ni Bubuinwa. Hello, Miss Illinois. How are you? How's my baby girl doing? Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Shalafia ni Bubuinwa. Hello, Mr. Mohammed. How are you? Honorable MZ. Good evening. Yeah, I have my glasses on from the beginning because I've been reading. So this week, for those who don't know, I do criminal defense as well. So I represent people charged with crimes. Yes, I do. You missed the red glasses. It's somewhere. It is somewhere. I'll find it because whatever I see, hello, Miss Sadipa, how are you? Whatever I say is what I grab. But so this week is trial week, but it's always a good thing when your clients plead. So it's just that you never know how things will go. So it's been a crazy week. I'm just finally going to be able to now get to immigration things tomorrow. But story of my life. Hi everyone, come on in, say hello. Hello, Mr. Eric, how are you doing? But kind of like out of all my glasses, I think this is one I prefer. Thank you. Well, I would say thank you, Miss Illinois, but sometimes that how do I put it now? You already know me. I hope against hope. But sometimes that sometimes it's common sense has to kick in. When there's no defense to what the crime. But then you got some clients who want to fight. Hello, Mr. Afolabi, for no reason. It is what it is. Hi, everyone. This is Attorney Abis. Hello, Miss Avena. I was thinking about you, and actually not thinking. I was working on things that have to do with you today. But I think I will probably have something more concrete by Monday. My headspace is just going from criminal defense to immigration, so bear with me. But yeah. But anyway, this is Attorney Abdisola Adebola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, but representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Good evening. How are you? How was Thanksgiving for everyone? I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How was Thanksgiving, everybody? I went to Vegas, left the babies with your daddy, and went off. I think I'm enjoying this divorce life too much. Y'all don't come for me. Absolutely. Don't come for me. Just leave me alone. But so we alternate holidays each year. Slept in. Okay, that's good too. We alternate holidays each year. So this year for Thanksgiving Day, our oldest kid is going to be 19 next week. Can you imagine? I have a 19-year-old. How in God's name did that happen? Like I was just 19 yesterday myself. Perfect. My oldest kid, SJ, is going to be 19. Thank you, Jesus. Next week. So he can really at this point decide. Although, anyway, I was going to say something, but he can decide what he wants to do. He's considered an adult by American standard. So it's really about TJ. But for the most part, because he's just a homebody, so he would still hang out with wherever his brother is. So we alternate holidays each year. So this year they were with dad for Thanksgiving. And for me, it's like, okay. It wasn't even fake so like, yeah, just needed to decompress. Well, anyway, we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter what state you live in. Miss Illinois is kind enough to help us put that on Instagram. It is scrolling across your screen on Facebook and YouTube, on TikTok. Number is there. So you have that information. Contact is 334. Thank you. 334-341-4475-19. Like, let me go 19. I mean, it's like yesterday. Like, what? Time flies. Time really does fly. Oh, when I was going to Vegas, he goes, and so what would you be going to do there? None of your business. You pay any part of my mortgage? Pay my bills? Don't ask me no questions. Like, he said, I'm just trying to make sure you're okay. I'll be fine. Mama's boy. None of your business. Is it just me, or when for those who have sons and they're getting older, are they not like all over your business? Like, you want to know who I'm talking to? Like, accountable for what? Accountable to who? Payment. If you don't pay my bills, hey, there's nothing to be accountable to you for. No. Go have several seats. For what? Don't even get me started. That's the attitude I have with them. Like, who you? TJ came like when I go by like, so what did you end up doing in Vegas? None of your business. Hey Jen, hello girl, how are you? That's what I did. None of your business. But anyway, once again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I did. You and I need to go together next time. Jen is she's my big little sister. She's way bigger than me, but she's my Jenny. Not could be a mama if I had a kid at like 17, 15. Yeah, but I love that girl. Please subscribe to YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Love you more. TikTok, Facebook at Olale Immigration on all right on all platforms. OlaleLawFirm.com. And congratulations to Miss A, whose national interest waiver petition got approved in 6 days. That is a record for even premium processing. No credit. It is all God's glory. And we give him praise. We give him praise. We give him praise. She almost drove me crazy, and she knows because she's probably here. But we thank God for his mercies and his faithfulness because, yeah, we thank God. And using that, thanks, Jen. I'll let her know. Using that to, I think she's on actually, as a point of contact to every other person who's waiting on God. We're waiting. And also, in the same week, we got a denial of an appeal. We win most. Sometimes we lose, and it's okay, But my brain is criminal defense week this week, so I'm just going to get back to my first law, which is immigration, really. Once again, contact is 334-341-4475. Let's talk immigration, people. Yes, congratulations, Miss A. Just so excited. If you don't know about national interest waiver and you think you would qualify, it's always good to consult with a lawyer because I think we consulted. When did she consult with me? August? Yeah, I think August. And then we started her case in September. I usually give myself a solid 60 days. It is a lot of, I'm talking no less than 200 plus pages in national interest waiver cases. And that's the reality of what it is. Because you are bypassing the Department of Labor certification. You're bypassing the requirement to have a U.S. employer offer you a job. You're saying to the USCIS that you've got the qualifications that you're not, and your qualifications speak on your behalf that you should not be subject to having to go through, almost a 2-year requirement before you can come back and file the I-140. So it is a big deal. So you must have all your ducks in a row. So for the most part, there's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee, but I try to screen. I have most of my consultations actually are national interest waiver, employment based, and that is one of my areas of practice that I love. And I think a big part is because that's how I got my green card. I got my green card through employment based national interest waiver for physicians because my ex-husband is a physician. So that was really what got me interested in national interest rate because that was a big part of, we had an attorney, but it was a big part of the process with them. And I was like, wow, you can get a green card like that? Y'all didn't tell me all these years in this country. But anyway, let's talk immigration and let's talk about multiple petitions. And if this is your first time with us, the way it goes is, yes, please don't forget to share this video with your family, friends. You never know who's going to benefit from it. And can everyone confirm on all platforms that you can hear me loud and clear? Someone said yes, and that would be very much appreciated. Multiple petitions. Let's talk about multiple petitions. How can you be the beneficiary of multiple petitions, and does one affect the other? If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome in. We do this Tuesdays, loud and clear. Thank you. Tuesdays, okay, perfect. And on YouTube and Facebook. Somebody say, hi, Miss Giwa, what's going on? Hello, Sabina. I think your workplace is Thank you. Can you hear me, Mr. Betty? Can you hear me loud and clear on YouTube as well? If you help me confirm that. I kind of love my girls. She got me on 2 places. Thank you. I do not take it for granted. Hey, Ghanaian wife, how are you? Okay, perfect. So, all right. If when you file a petition or a petition has been filed on your behalf, can you be the beneficiary of multiple petitions that I know? Okay, I was saying that if you're just joining us, I usually do questions at the end of what we want to talk about. So, and some days we'll have questions the whole time. But we missed last Thursday for Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone spent. Hello, Mr. John. Spend great time with your family. In fact, there's nothing like family, and if you got some time off, that's great as well. Can you be the beneficiary of multiple petitions filed concurrently, simultaneously, and is one going to affect the other? And the short answer to that is you can't. Yes, you can, and no one does not affect the other. So let's talk about that. When you have petitions filed for you, keep in mind that immigration petitions are standalone petitions. So that means that they're not contingent on something else, another application, or they're not contingent on someone else filing for you, and then that takes the place of another one. No. What do I mean by multiple petitions? Example. You're in a marriage and you are, let's assume you come into the country on a student visa, F1 visa, and you're in school and you're studying and you fall in love, you get married, your spouse files an I-130 petition on your behalf, but you are still maintaining your status. And you are now graduating, your case with your spouse is still pending, and you have a job offer from an employer saying, hey, we can file, sponsor you for a green card, and they go through the whole perm process. Or if you're working in a place where your job qualifies as one of the Schedule A occupations where you don't need the perm certification, and they'll file an I-140 petition with USCIS on your behalf or the offer to, can your employer do that while your spouse's I-130 petition is still pending? And the short answer to that is yes. So the fact that you've got an I-130 family-based petition that you're the beneficiary of in the works pending with USCIS does not mean that an I-140 petition filed by an employer cannot be filed simultaneously. Both petitions can be pending with USCIS concurrently in spite of you being the beneficiary of both petitions. Let me add more to that. Let's assume that you have a brother, or you've got a mother who's a citizen, or whatever, you fall into a category where a brother who's a U.S. citizen, or your mother, be it a legal permanent resident or a citizen, can petition on your behalf, and they do. That means they're filing yet another I-130 petition for you. Is that possible with a pending I-130 from your spouse, a pending I-140 from an employer? Can your mother and or sibling now file yet another I-130 petition on your behalf? Short answer is yes. One petition does not affect the other, even though you are the beneficiary of all of those multiple petitions. So you are able to have concurrent petitions filed for you as the beneficiary of all of those petitions. Keep in mind that because they are all in different categories. So as long as you fall within a category that makes you eligible as the beneficiary of a petition, then one does not affect the other. When your spouse files for you, your spouse is filing for you. Let's assume that the person you're married to is an immediate relative, meaning a citizen. So that classifies you as an immediate relative. That means that you are being filed for as an I-130 IR relative. If you now have an employer sponsor an I-140 petition on your behalf, that is an EB2, EB1, EB3, whatever the case may be, a different category completely. You're still the same beneficiary. So let's assume you are single, your mother is a legal permanent resident, and you're unmarried, and she files for you, and you are the adult child, unmarried child of a legal permanent resident, that is a preference category under the family base, completely different. You have a brother that also files for you because your brother is a citizen. That is an F4 category beneficiary because that is a separate category of siblings of citizens. Those are completely different categories. So all those petitions can be running simultaneously, even though you are the common beneficiary of all the petitions. The question really is, so can you have multiple petitions filed on your behalf? Absolutely. You cannot have more than one. So example, your spouse who's a citizen files an I-130 for you, it's pending, then you file yet another I-130. It doesn't mean you cannot, but it will confuse USCIS completely, because then you lose them. Like, okay, you know what's going on. So that's the one thing that it obviously is not advisable, because it's the same category you're requesting, or the same classification that you're requesting. Now, when any of those petitions get approved, are you now able to file more than one I-485 for all of those petitions? And the short answer to that is no. You are eligible to be the beneficiary of multiple petitions, but you can only adjust your status one at a time. In the sense of, you cannot have multiple I-485 green card applications pending on each of those. You've got to adjust your status on one petition. So if your spouse, you file concurrent with your spouse, and for whatever reason, USCIS has not approved your case, you're still, using the same example, you're still in a valid non-immigrant F1 status, and the one filed, the I-140 employment petition filed by your employer gets approved, and your I-130 filed by your spouse is still pending, what you can do in that situation is now ask USCIS to transfer your I-485 from the I-130 your spouse filed for you to your approved I-140 that was filed by your employer, as long as you still maintain the non-immigrant F1 status. Because for employment basis, you are required to maintain a valid non-immigrant status up until the time that you apply for a green card. There is an exception of Section 245K, which allows you, based on employment, to still apply for a green card as long as you have not overstayed your status for more than 180 days. That's the only exception. When you're out of status, then you can still file an employment-based, a green card based on an approved employment petition. But if you are married to a citizen, the overstay bar is not applicable to you because you're an immediate relative. The same does not apply if your mother and or brother is filing for you. If you're not an immediate relative, all other preference category, family-related categories requires you to maintain a valid non-immigrant status in order to adjust status while in the country. Meaning, you must be in a valid non-immigrant status at the time USCIS receives your green card application. So you can have multiple petitions for which you are the beneficiary of. You just cannot have multiple I-485 applications pending. However, you're able to transfer the underlying basis of your I-485, meaning you can go from an I-130 to an I-140, or an I-140 to an I-130, or an I-360, as long as you maintain your eligibility to be admissible at the time USCIS adjudicates your I-485 application. I probably have confused everybody, but that's really how it is. Because I have that question. So I had 2 consultations today where, out of the consultations I had 2 where that was an issue. And I know that I've heard that before from other people. So I'm like, you know what, let's just talk about that. So when people say, okay, this is like mobile file I-130, file I-130, then I switch over to a VAR case. Does one cancel the other? No, it doesn't. It's the same thing. So if you have a spouse who had filed an I-130 for you, and that I-130 is still pending, but things have happened, you now file a VAR petition for yourself. And the question then is, can both of them be running at the same time? Absolutely. what happens if one is approved before the other? So if your I-360 gets approved and you had under a 485 that was attached to the I-130, you can't ask USCIS to transfer your I-485 from the I-130 to your VAWA petition. And conversely, but if you're switching from I-130 to the VAWA case, I always usually advise not to go back to an I-130, because the last thing you want to happen is for USCIS to think that you were trying to circumvent the immigration laws and claim that you were abused when you really were not. And now you have an approved I-130 and you want to go back to that same abusive spouse. Nothing says you cannot, but you're going to raise a whole lot of red flags. So you are able to be the beneficiary of multiple petitions, but you can only file one I-485. Keep in mind that as long as you are eligible, you can transfer the online. Okay, and that's it. Very simple, very straightforward. And yeah, that's all she wrote. Okay, let's see. Questions. All right, let's start with Facebook and let's see. Okay. Hello, Mr. John. Hello, Ms. Giwa. How was Thanksgiving for everybody? Did y'all cook? Questions time. Yes, Mr. Bennett. Because I can't remember. Let me see. When was the last time I cooked for Thanksgiving? I don't care to cook. Hold your judgment to yourself. I'm a Nigerian woman. Yes. I just don't like to cook. I don't. It's not fun for me. I cook because the government says I got to take care of my kids and I got to feed them. And because my kids do not, I'd rather cook than buy fast food. That's just me. I can count on one hand this whole year, each year, how many times we go. Maybe we go to fast food when we have road trips. But if I'm going out, that's the reason I cook, so the government doesn't come for me. But if I'm coming from work and pick up fast food, I just don't. I don't, because I'd rather feed them something I cook from scratch than and those. If you have boys, you already know that God help you. Thank you, Ms. Abin. I don't care to cook. I just don't. Ms. Abin is from Ghana. She's African, so don't judge us. Some of us just don't. My mom tried to teach me how to cook when I was in Nigeria. I refused to learn. And then was when I got married that I learned how to cook over the phone. I'm a good cook. Don't even get me wrong. And people who've eaten my food like, really, you made that? Yeah, I did. I just don't care to do it. So that's what I have leak finger for. Hey, leak finger. So, but whatever is Christmas, Thanksgiving, my boys would ask for, can you make Nigerian jollof rice or can you make egusi? So like, oh, but I do, just because it's Thanksgiving. It was Christmas, but this Thanksgiving you have to cook. I was in heaven, like I ain't doing it. Did your dad cook? I don't know. I wasn't there. So, but I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, please don't forget to like and the video, subscribe, follow on YouTube. Please go to a YouTube channel at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 and please subscribe and share. You just never know who's going to benefit, for real. Okay. I have a VAWA case, my travel document. Let me do this real quick. Let's hide this and then go back to the comments. All right. I have a VAWA case, my travel document. Can I apply again? Why was it denied? You have to know why it was denied. What was the basis for the denial? If you are able to address the basis for the denial, then generally cooking African food is just a whole race. It is a lot of work. You really must be someone who enjoys cooking, because our food, there's nothing like African food. There's nothing like it. Like I'm waiting, like tonight I'm still going to eat pounded yam and my mother's open. My mother cooked and sent it all the way from Massachusetts. Yes, that's how I eat. But disclaimer, general information, responses to your questions are just what it is. Just general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So if you want to have anything specific to your case, then you need to schedule a proper consultation. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 or send an email to info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I filed for a marriage-based green card and received my work authorization while my I-13045 is still pending. Is it possible for me to file for a VAWA petition? I don't know if it's you're eligible for a VAWA case, but can you do that while your case is pending? Generally, yes. Whether or not you're not qualified for a VAWA case, that's something you will have to discuss or have your case evaluated properly by an attorney. Hi, Miss Lisa. How are you? Hello, Miss Miriam. How are you doing? Oh, thank you. Miss, y'all are listening to Miss Advantage. She goes, hello, beautiful people. It's 25 of us on here, YouTube, I guess. And only 2 likes. Let's all click the like button now, please. God bless you. Please do that. That will be very, very much appreciated. So y'all listen to Miss Avena and go click like on YouTube and Facebook. I got married to my husband in the court and customary and the Islam marriage. Now we're trying to file for divorce. Which of these marriages can we go ahead and get divorce done quickly? You're required to do all of them. Okay, let's go to TikTok. You will be required to submit all of those because all those are valid marriages. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay, I didn't know I could do this. You can make it actually bigger, and I can see. Well, I have my glasses on, so I think. Jen, oh, hey, Jen, you're on TikTok too? You're gonna confuse me. I did. Vegas is always fun, and I stayed in the Venetian hotel. I love it, and I don't know who's been to Vegas recently. There's this sphere that's just been built recently in my room. I can feel like I could touch it from my room. The scene was just beautiful each night. The colors, it was just. I mean, Vegas is Vegas. Nobody sleeps in that town. I'm like, what? This is for young people. Because like, what the hell? But anyway, okay. Let's see. Can I bring my wife to the US from UK? If you are a citizen or legal permanent resident and you file for her, generally yes. How long it takes to respond RFP for that? There's no set time. It depends on what it was that they requested from you. I love your hair color and style. Thank you. It's actually not hair color. It's I guess it's my hair. I didn't color it. My EB2 priority date is April 2023. Visa bulletin is stuck at July 2022. Do you expect any movement? I can't tell you. I can't predict the visa bulletin, but what I can tell you is this: if you are in the United States and you're still eligible to adjust status, you're not, based on what you're saying, you're looking at the final action dates for filing. USCIS each month, they will let you know which of the charts they're going to use, whether they're going to use the final action date or the dates for filing. For December, this month in December, they're using the dates for filing, which right now puts you at January 2023. So you have to make sure you're looking at the right chart for your case. The best attorney you could ask for. Thank you, Jen. But then again, she's my sister. Not like no blood sister, but Jen is, I don't know if you guys remember, some will remember, but Jen got a green card earlier this year. And I love all my clients. But there are some cases that are so dear to me. Jen's case is one of those, and this is why. Jen and I met, how long ago, Jen? I don't know. How long ago did we meet, Jen? I can't remember, but Jen was on a student visa when we met, and I met her because I represent one of my clients is a university that she worked at, and we got to know her mom was still here. God rest her soul, Sabine, and her case was complicated. Trying to get her, thank you, trying to get her H-1B visa. It was. We had to come up. My brain sometimes like, what? How did I come up with that? But it's just God, because even though she's got the qualifications, the job she was offered was not necessarily an H-1B specialty occupation. But somehow, because we got an RFE, and I was like, oh, shoot, this is what I was dreading. But somehow God did it. And she got the first H-1B, and her mother filed, but unfortunately, we lost Sabine 5 years ago now. And so the one thing she told me, it's getting emotional about it, is like, no matter what, how long it takes, promise me you will get my girl her status in the US. And just a little bit background information. When Jen's parents came, because her mom, they're Germans, but Jen, you never know because she sounds American. She's been here since what, January 10th? I don't even know. She's been here forever. But when they came on employment visas, and when her family applied for green cards, the attorney that they had delayed to the point of Jen was not 21 yet. But by the time they submitted the application, because of the delay, she had turned 21. And so she could not benefit because they delayed by what, 3 or 4 months, and she missed out on that. And that was one of the things that worried her mother so much, because it was just so close. And now they had to figure out how to get her status. Long story short, we started with F1. She got an H1, try to figure out what else. But finally this year, God using our firm, she got her green card. And the day I called her, she cried. I remember there was a little kid, because she's a special ed teacher, and she's a new homeowner. Things have she turned 30 this year. It's been the best year. And I remember there was a kid in the background when I called, and the kid was like, what's wrong? Because she deals with what she does. I can tell you I cannot do, because she has the patience of a saint, teaches these kids that love her, God knows. And the kid was crying because she was crying. The kid thought she was sad. That's why the kid was crying. But it was a good cry. It was, tears of joy, just to know that we could be a part of that. So her story is just, and I got that notification, and I go, all right, we did it, Sabine. We did it. You can rest well now, because her mother passed away. And her mother also filed for her, and as one of the routes we were looking at, but unfortunately she passed. And so just to know that God made all things work together for her good, there's nothing like it. So I know that was a long story, but it was worth saying, because it is just it. Let's see. Why does VAD take too long? Trust me. They should let me run USCIs for just 1 year. Just 1 year. Just let me run USCIs. 1 year. Really? That's all. What do you recommend is the fastest, the fiance visa or spousal visa? It depends on a lot of factors. First of all, it starts with, are you a citizen? If you're not a citizen, a fiance visa is out of the question. If you're a citizen, then where you at in your relationship? Are you guys at the point where you have lived together for a while, or you intend to live together, see how it works? Do you want to just be done with paperwork at the embassy stage, or you don't mind still doing some additional paperwork here? All those factors have to be considered. But when it comes to processing time, at this level with USCIs, they're taking about the same time. But at the embassy level, the fiancé visa is much faster than the spousal visa right now. Immigration denied me for my green card. What can I do? Consult with a lawyer to see what your options are. I'm a citizen and my husband lives in a different country. How long does the process take? Sit down with a lawyer and discuss what your option is and how that, and USCIS /processing times is a great resource to go. That gives you the breakdown of how long things are taking for USCIS to process. How about F1 and F2? Can F2 file? File what? Okay. Òyìnbó yìí náà ni. Kí ló ṣe òyìnbó? Òyìnbó ìwọ. Okay. I don't get it. Let's see. Can we please not repeat the same question several times? Because I would try to get, but if I say this too many times, I probably would just skip it. I applied 363 3 years ago. You mean 360? Are you talking about a VA case 3 years ago? How long? It's taking a while. And if your case is already 3 years and it's still pending, you may want to reach out through your attorney to the VA office. They may let you know maybe they're doing some additional background check. That's always the default, but it's just really frustrating and ridiculous at this point. Can an asylum seeker file vacancy? Vacancy for what? Can someone switch from O2 visa to EB1 visa? If you qualify, it's not switching. You don't switch. You file a petition, and then if you get approved, then based on that you can file your green card application. So it's not a switch. You're filing a petition. A switch is when you're changing from one non-immigrant status to another. I've been waiting for my green card for almost 2 years. Is it advisable to move to a different city? I cannot answer that question. Let's see. My green card was denied, and what? Okay, I'm going to. Okay, which I think this is the problem with. See, now there's so many repetitive questions that I don't even know. This is the confusing part. I'm just going to start from where I think I stopped. My case says correspondence was received and USCIS is processing, but I did not send anything. That is a very common update whenever there's been an action taken on your case. So, for instance, if you change your address, you call them for anything, you sent in a response to request for evidence, or you change your name, or if your case is being someone has taken up your file to continue adjudication, that is just a default update that you may get. Okay, my marriage-based green card was denied and I appealed the decision. Can I reapply afresh? Yes, you can. General information, but yes, you can. I got fingerprint appointment through VA. I'm afraid to go because I came through Mexico border. You're gonna have to go for your fingerprint. You have to go. Can I book an appointment and talk to you directly? I still do all my consultations. We tried to get my other attorney to do some consultations, but nobody was booking. We're going to try it again come the new year. And y'all need to understand that if I have someone who's working with me, that means I have vetted that person and I believe and trust that they have I don't have all the answers to your questions. I don't. There's some questions, some consultations, you know, like, you know what, I got to check on that for you. I'd rather say that than to give you wrong information. But y'all, please be flexible to embrace a new attorney, which you would going to implement again. But for right now, yes, when you book an appointment, you are going to be talking with me about your case. Any advice for F2? How can F2 adjust the status? Depends on what you qualify for. You've got to be eligible for something. Is it based? Is it family based? Is it employment based? You got to be eligible for something. That's something you would have to discuss with a lawyer and see what you qualify for. I've been documentary qualified November 10, waiting for an interview. If you were just document qualified for November 10, which is like what? Just shy of 3 weeks ago, that's still very new. Okay, let's see. Hi, after biometrics appointment, how long after does it take to get a work permit? That has nothing to do with how long you get your work permit. Sometimes it's coincidental, but work permits generally taking anywhere from 2 months to 7 months. If you haven't heard from immigration after filing for 5 months, what can you do? When you say you haven't heard from them, like you don't even have receipt notices, I'm just going to say cruiser because that's very generic. So hopefully, is that what you're saying? Did my interview for marriage-based interview? Did my interview for marriage-based interview 3 years ago and still haven't heard from them. Thank you for saying that because I just remembered something I have to do. What was this? Okay. So congressional assistance requests, calling USCIS, and at the end of it, if all else fails, you have a right to sue them. Now, suing sometimes, majority of the time it ends up in denial, but if they don't have a basis to deny your case, then they will have no choice but to approve your case. But those are options you can explore before resorting to lawsuit. Okay. Oh, no receipt after filing. So it's not uncommon if you filed your VAR case before September. It's not uncommon for that receipt notice to take. Now, I don't have any that's taking 5 months, but cases that we filed before September took about up to 3 months to get the receipt notices. What I'm seeing, and this has been since September, USCIS is actually sending out receipt notices for VAR cases much faster. When I say fast, I'm talking 2-3 weeks fast. And based on the previous history, that's really, really fast. So for instance, we sent quite a bit of cases out the week before Thanksgiving. And today, we got most of them receipt notices back for VAR-related cases, just to put things in perspective. Thank you for sharing. Does a primary visa holder on F1 get affected if the F2 visa holder files for asylum? Only if the F1 visa holder is included in the asylum application. You have to be included in that application. If you're not included, then it doesn't affect the person. Asylum-based green card dated November 2022, but married to U.S. citizen. How long to wait for? If you got your green card through asylum, you cannot get a citizenship based on 3 years married to a citizen, because that's not how you got your green card. So if you got your green card through asylum, you're going to wait 5 years as a legal permanent resident, file 90 days before the 50th anniversary in order to become a citizen. I need to write my story. How do I start? What story for what? Her mother is 65 and green card holder. She cannot speak English. How can she get her citizenship? There are some exemptions for, ages and how long you've been here. And also there's a medical exemption. You guys need to consult a lawyer and see which of those she may qualify for. Can I travel while my green card is still pending? What do you mean it's still pending? Do you have a green card already, or you filed a green card application that you haven't received a decision yet, but you have an advance parole? What do you mean? I want to apply for my wife's spouse Nigerian visa card. We don't do Nigerian visas. I'm Nigerian. I just don't judge. We don't do Nigerian visa because that's easy to get. Okay, let's see. Did my fingerprints for 601A in 2021? Still haven't heard from them. Is it normal? Absolutely. It's taking months for that to be approved. I have gone for interview marriage-based case, but USCIS canceled the interview. You said you've gone for the interview, but they canceled. How did you go for the interview if they canceled the interview? I'm not sure I understand the explanation to what you went for an interview, but they canceled it. So how did you attend an interview if it was canceled? Can you represent someone in Maryland? Yes. So immigration is federal practice, and that means that as long as an attorney is licensed in one state, they can represent you in any state. Can I take a traveling document and travel while my adjustment status is pending? You must file and get your advance parole approved before you move a muscle, meaning before you leave the country. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, let's go to what's the time? Hold on 1 second. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that I just realized I know where my red pair of glasses is, but it's far away. Let's just put it that way. Okay, let's see. Oh no, I'm done with my criminal defense, criminal trials this week. We're done. We're done. Done. So yeah, take a break and then tomorrow and switch over back to immigration. When is it good to apply for U.S. citizenship after getting green card through marriage? If you are still married to your spouse and you got your green card based through marriage and your spouse is a citizen and you still are in marital union 3 years after you've been a legal permanent resident, then you're qualified for 3 years. If things happen, you guys get divorced, or you're not living together in marital union, which is a requirement, then you gotta wait for 5 years. Happy birthday in advance, SJ. Thank you. He's my low maintenance kid. You know how God gives you that first child, and you feel like I'm gonna leave, mewasi, and no big deal. And then God now gives you TJ. There you go. My God, you got a great sense of humor. And she going to move more. Let's close shop. That's the story of my boys. The oldest one is, for instance, okay, we're talking. Hey, Christmas is coming. So in my home, I don't know how your daddy does. Well, then again, how y'all Niger dads, y'all know yourselves. You may be living in the United States, but y'all still Nigerian in your personality and behavior. I say that to say this. Christmas shopping, what they getting for Christmas, even though Christmas is alternate years, is still in my house. Some years it's just delayed because he ain't going to buy no gift. He says your mama will take care of it. School uniform, does he have one in this place? No, because their mama's going to take care of it. So it's like you're divorced, but you're not necessarily, because you still have to take care of a whole lot of stuff. Plan it anyway. So what do you want for Christmas, boys? My almost 19-year-old says, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I'm like, yeah, you have everything you need because the government says we got to give you everything you need, like food and clothing and shelter. But we're talking about what you want. He goes, well, there's nothing I want. I have everything. I'm like, well, thank God. But what do you want for Christmas? He goes, don't worry about Christmas. I'm good. I'm like, okay, you sure? Yeah, I'm good. There's nothing you think of. No. TJ, before he even said anything, goes, well, I have a Christmas list. Of course you do. Of course you do. But then again, I think the age difference, because my oldest is almost 19 in a week, God willing. TJ's 13. My boys have almost 6 years between them. And so I think that really, really is a big factor and then the personalities are just different. Children generally want to know your whereabouts once they leave home. It's part of caring. I don't care about me. Mind your darn business. I'm the mom. If I'm going to Vegas or wherever I'm going, please don't ask me what I'm doing. That's not going to change. My boys are just like, where you at? What are you doing? When are you coming home? Who's paying the bills? I love this face. It was this positivity always. Thank you. That's the whole point. Yes, congrats to Miss A. Yes, and we will continue to decree and declare good news every single time we make we got to decree. You got to speak it before we see it. And we decree and declare that God will continue to give us many, many reasons to be thankful, to be grateful, to express gratitude even in advance before we even see what it is that he has in store for us. Yes, and Savannah says, please don't forget to share with your family and friends. That would be very, very much appreciated. Let's see. Ghanaian wife, you're just a stone throw away. Come on, Tuscaloosa, Demopolis. It ain't far. It's less than an hour. Let me know whenever you're coming by. That would be great to meet you guys. Okay, let's see. That tells you. Thank you, Anthony Senate. Okay. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You better believe that. You better believe that. Let's think about what happened in Vegas. Let's just leave the thoughts alone, because I think my oldest kid may be watching. Hello, Mr. Gray. How are you? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you, Ms. Abin. Yes, her story is VAR case filed since July 2023. No receipt. What do I do? It's not uncommon, to be honest, but July, so we're talking about 4 months. I think you will still get it. And from September, it's been good. Knock on wood. And for instance, Miss Sabina, I think one of the cases we talked about, like what, 3, almost 4 months to get a receipt. I mean, so it probably will still come. They will probably still send you a receipt notice. When he is until like 3 months. 3 months should do it. You already know me, right? Just give me some time to take over USCIS. That's all I'm saying. 48 hours is enough for you to run that. We'll see it. In short, before you know it, we've already voted a Nigerian as the president of the United States. Kilemo. Like, oh, it's not going to be Ghanaian, Ms. Abena. Sorry. It's going to be Nigerian first. My EAD application got denied in August because the asylum case was dismissed. My card expired last year, but with the extension, I've been working and it will stop in December. So what's your question? My boyfriend is a green card holder and has been here for 5 years. Can he file for me? Your boyfriend can file for you when you guys get married. The question is, can you get a green card based on that filing without having to leave the country? And the short answer to that is no, because at this time, you have overstayed when you came in, unless you are in a valid non-immigrant status. But given that you said your asylum has been dismissed and your EAD is going to expire, that tells me you're probably not in any valid status. And because your boyfriend is not a citizen yet, the unlawful presence will be a bar. Now, the question is, if he's already, how long has he been a green card holder for? Has he been a green card holder the whole 5 years, or he's been here 5 years and he has not been a legal permanent resident for that amount of time? And if that's the case and he's not a citizen, then he can file a petition on your behalf, but you will not be able to adjust status without having to leave the country, which I would not advise to do. Can a green card application be affected if you don't make use of your work permit? No. Nigerian nice daddies, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. My sometimes like, my ex-husband is an Ekiti man. You know, your Ekiti men are like, you know, very passive aggressive. But let me go. It's not easy to be married to me. Even we have to give him kudos that he tried. Who filed for divorce? I did. Anyone gonna divorce me? I did. Can I schedule just 10 minutes consultation with you? I don't have 10 minutes. You can use 10 minutes out of the 30 minutes, but you're going to pay the whole 30 minutes. Let's Let's see. How long does it take to get an approval for advanced parole? Depends on what basis you filed it with. If it's these I-485 pending, for the most part, it is approved with your work permit. But if it was filed separately, anywhere from 4 months to a year. That's the range I'm seeing. Can I switch my visitor visa to EB2 national interest waiver while I'm still within the 6 months window? That depends on if you qualify for the EB2 national interest waiver. And then you have to understand that there is a time limit that by which so you may be able to, it's not, you're not going to be able to apply for a green card in 6 months. That much I can tell you. Then you've got another 179 days if you're out of status to hope that the priority date becomes current for you to be able to apply for a green card based on the approved EB2, but you've got to make sure that you even qualify for the EB2 to start with. So you may want to sit down with a lawyer to discuss your case. If someone's I-765 and 45 says case is transferred and that location has jurisdiction, does that mean they have started working on that file or just moving due to backlog? It's not backlog. They're moving it to the office that's going to be adjudicating your case. And that happens a lot in the VAL cases because you file a VAL with the Nebraska Service Center, then they transfer it to the Vermont Service Center. Can I refile my green card for marriage base? If denied, an appeal case still pending. I thought I saw you on another platform, but generally, yes. Okay. All right. Maybe 1 or 2 on Facebook and YouTube. And USCIS refused to send me request for additional evidence. My case was denied. USCIS says I abandoned my case. I was denied. What do I do? First of all, sit down with a lawyer, see why you were denied, and then see if you can refile. We're both in the United States, so we try to represent to USCIS. You need to do all of them. Miss Miriam, if you were married, you did. So what we usually refer to as engagement back in, I can talk of Nigeria because that's, Yoruba. Engagement, and then the Islamic marriage, and then you did court marriage. You need all 3. The only one you need, if you're having divorce and you guys are still heading towards divorce, please hear me loud and clear, Miss Miriam. Do not go back to Nigeria to do your statutory divorce. If both of you are here, first of all, that means none of the 2 of you has the standing to file a divorce petition in Nigeria, because one of the requirements for Nigerian divorce is one of you has to be domiciled there. Both of you are living in the United States. That means none of you is domiciled in Nigeria. So you don't have the residency requirement to even file a complaint. So that's going to be red flag number 1. Number 2, there's no reason for you not to file your divorce here if both of you are here, because you've been residing here. But the customary marriage and the Islamic marriage do not require any specific documentation. And the affidavit is enough to say this was the date that the marriage was dissolved, this was how it was dissolved. That's all you need. But you need to be able to give them all 3. You need something to show that you may not necessarily want to. Let me not say what I was going to say, but that's what you need to do. A beneficiary who's I-730, who's documentary qualified overseas, also I-130 pending, and petitioner now a citizen. What will happen to any of the petitions? The petitions will stay, just the category may change depending on who the beneficiary of the I-730 is. So that's something you would have to inform depending on what state that I-130 petition is. You may want to inform USCIS, okay, pending USCIS that you're now a citizen. That may change the category of the person, but both of them can be done simultaneously. But If the I-730 is already documentary qualified, then that's already at the embassy stage. Why would you want to? Hopefully you're not looking to stall any, but one doesn't affect the other. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay. All right. I've already answered your question, Mayor. If you have additional questions, then schedule a consultation. Okay. All right, people. If your asylum case was referred to judge and she just advised to get administrative closure, instead of talking in court, what would your advice? Can hear appeal? Sit down with lawyer to discuss your case. That's very, very. That's not a general question, kind of question that just requires a general answer. I have masters in health services management. I think I should qualify for NIW. Sit down with a lawyer to know whether or not you qualify. This is not something you figure out if you qualify in a 10-minute consultation. That's not how this works. All right, people. Thank you, as always, for joining. Very, very much appreciated all the time, always. Miss Abena, Miss Illinois, Jan, thank you, everybody. That really, really means a lot that you guys take time each Tuesday and Thursday evening. And that's what we do Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And y'all, Miss Illinois, Miss Abena, y'all have to give me no props. I've been really close to getting here at 9, maybe 9:05, but I've been way better than like 2 months ago, I think. Right? Yeah. People change. When you're born in Nigeria, you've always worked with Nigerian time. But the one thing I can tell you, I'm never late to court. When it comes to being in court, never late. That because I ain't gonna risk that, and I not doing it. No, never late to court. Maybe one time, and by one time I mean court started at 9. I was there 9 o'clock. That's late to court. But anyway, so we rejoice with all those who have received great news for this week, and we rejoice with all those who will be receiving great news in the coming weeks. The year is almost ended. Yes, Friday we start the last month of the year. As long as God gives us breath, it's not the end because the year is ending. Your destiny is not controlled or governed by a certain year. It's governed by the time frame that God puts on it. The Bible says, He makes all things beautiful in His time. If God says the timing for your greatest blessing is not in 2023, it's in 2024, then the more reason why you want 2023 to end. But it doesn't mean that it would end without you having something to be thankful for, even if it means to be thankful in advance of what's to come in the new year. So my prayer is that we'll always have many, many reasons to be thankful, to be grateful, to come together, to rejoice, to celebrate, and even to encourage, even because it's not always going to be approvals and all that. Yes, even in times when we get denials and things not expected, that we're also still here in this positive space to encourage one another each and every time. And I pray, and I truly believe that God willing, that our expectations shall not be cut off. As the year ends, it shall not cut off our expectations, but it would only gear us more to look forward to what God has in store for us in the coming year. I'll see you guys on Thursday.